Respectfully, I had asked now the third time, where in the contract does it say what you just said?
Regarding the additional services, in the event the county requests in writing additional services from the company not included in the base contract, the company shall provide the following according to such and such a fee schedule. And I believe it's actually earlier in the agreement where it defines that we have to give you a price. I can look for that quickly. Software customization, company will provide customization needed. Company will notify county when requests are made that are not included as part of the software support and provide an estimate of the time and the cost required for the request. County may then advise and instruct us whether or not to proceed with the request. County shall be required to provide company with written authorization to proceed. In other words, we're not going to incur any expense to you without you separately authorizing it.
But it doesn't say
anything about
annual
the fees,
adjustments.
about the rate, changing the rate.
I don't, to be honest, it's just been routine for us, so I don't know that there is language one way or the other.
Well,
I'm
it's
not
not going to
this
be
page.
routine for us, I don't think. If those are not fees that you're going to adhere to throughout the duration of the contract, why are they even in there?
To give an idea as to what the typical costs would be. I mean, in the new one, I added 2012 rates to help clarify that. You may have noticed, I don't think that was in the original one. And I don't want anybody to be offended. Our goal here is not to, we're not attempting to ask for anything new in this.
I just think it's very unfortunate that we're at 95% of completion and then we're in the middle of this. That's the part that is maybe, and a lot of Bill's, Commissioner Ames's comments are my own and some of Commissioner Litz's, but I just think it's unfortunate timing.
Well, I appreciate that. And the field work's 95% complete. We're far from complete with the project.
Well, but in terms of the final payment of those kind of things.
In terms of the payment materials, that's true. I'll make the suggestion to Gene here. If the primary concern is that you feel that your interpretation is that the original a la carte rate schedules were to run the term of the original contract, then we'll honor those rates for the term of the original contract. They will change.
You could point out where it says it changes, but I didn't see it, and
You're not using any of them anyway, so it's not, at this point it's not worth having a concern about. If you needed some programming rate and I have to bill you at 130 or 135, I forget what the old rate was.
Clarify for me, some of those services, if I understand them, are the type services that if going forward we want to maintain our assessment through a regular reassessment process, are services that we would utilize. Is that correct?
I'm not sure that, not really, because this is more hourly schedules. If you're going to maintain, you have a support agreement that kicks in 2013 that provides ongoing support to the assessment office, and that will provide.
May I make a suggestion?
I want to make sure that there's a paragraph in there that will be negotiated for an agreed upon fee.
For what?
For be passed this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't understand you.
But it will be negotiated in addition, the statement that I made, if it's not in this contract, that any of the services that we were going to provide according to that fee schedule will be determined by an agreed upon total fee.
The typical language says the above price may be adjusted to remain consistent with consumer price index and or market factors. And market factors include our employee costs and health care and all of that. So that applies, that sentence is missing from where it should be, which is why I can't find it on what you're looking for. If that clause were on your original 2010 agreement, then we would annually adjust it according to market factors. But in this case, it's not there. What we'll do is we'll honor these numbers for the duration of the original term, and this new renewal doesn't extend the term. It's just through the end of this year.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be difficult. I want to be civil. But now, if I understand Mr. Porterfield correctly, he's sitting there stipulating that he won't agree to a new agreement unless we insert language that allows you to escalate fees. And you folks are here asking us to do a new agreement.
You're misunderstanding me, Commissioner. The only thing I stated was, if we're going back to the other fee schedule, just in addition, so it's clear that any and all of these services will be for a negotiated fee, total, so that you're not saying, okay, go do this for.
Rather than an hourly rate, is that what you're saying?
The hourly rate would apply, but if we say, okay, this is gonna take us about 10 hours, okay, then it's gonna be no more than $1,650.
So you're gonna say a not to exceed figure?
Right, and that way you folks understand what the maximum you're gonna pay.
I appreciate that you have informed us, number one, but number two, what's wrong with doing an amendment, as was suggested, that would update the code and acknowledge a name change?
I don't know that there'd be a problem with that. It's terminology to a degree. We could reclassify this as, it would still need to be, the amendment would have to be signed, but then you're not, then the original board is responsible for the only, you know, that's not a bad idea. I like that idea, and it seems a little awkward to say in an amendment, Evaluator Services and Technology hereinafter referred to as Century is, you know, but that's something maybe.
Seems simple to me.
If we even in substance or in theory agree to anything, we really need our
Penny would have to
solicitor
reverse
to
it, yeah, review
put
it.
these things side by side and make sure that we're not agreeing to anything different than the prior board agreed to. Other than, I understand that there are law changes, and if they have to be addressed, I'm sure that our solicitor can advise us to that.
I would expect nothing less and would encourage that.
I think the most difficult thing for me is that, and I know timing is everything and you had to work that out on your side, but this is a process that is very, very difficult on the taxpayers of our community to begin with. And to enter another element of uncertainty just is an unfair burden, I think, for us to bear as a board in representing this relationship to the people in our community. You know, I don't know what, I mean, that's just honestly how I feel.
I appreciate that. It's a valid point. What I would say to the taxpayers, to the property owners in Lebanon County is the leadership of this project has not changed. The policies and procedures of the project has not changed. The technology has not changed. The cost has not changed. We are still going to do exactly what we were going to do. All that's changed is the name on the door.
While we're in the process of constructing, I guess, an amendment, if that's where we are on this at this point, am I authorized to continue those fixed and usual payments that
For
are
work completed? I
work
would say
completed and
yes.
work ongoing?
Yes.
On the original
Yeah, we don't want a
schedule,
hardship for
following
them.
the
Yeah,
original
that's not
schedule.
the intent.
To be technical,